Well, Kate, I told you that it slipped in one of my work worlds that a coworker found our podcast and said how, like, wonderful it was. And it sent me back in time to look at or listen to episodes from last year. And I think we've come a long way on our, like, chemistry, our zhuzh.
Come a long way in a good way?
I think we're better. I think we're better now. Like, I also have been now, because obviously people know I'm pregnant, been sober. So, like, when we would start, it was the middle of the pandemic. We were just drinking like fools.
I still am. So, I don't know what that says about me. But it means I'm not pregnant. That's what that means.
It says I wish I could. But it's just, I don't know. I think we need to take some pauses and say, like, hey, we're kicking butt. Because I think our, like, latest ones are always the better ones. We're not going down. I think we're going up.
I love that.
So, listeners, if you agree, I mean, just keep on listening or write reviews or whatever.
Click like, subscribe, and write a review.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Whee!
Sisters who've seen it. We are the sisters who've seen it. Sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, shooby-dooby-doo-wop, sisters, 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 sisters. Sisters who've seen it.
Hello!
Hello!
Welcome back, listeners.
How's it going?
Did y'all bring your babes? First I was going to say bottles, and then I was like, I don't think that explains the baby theme, so I just went for it.
Who's ready to bring their bebes? Which you're referencing Schitt's Creek?
Moira.
Bebe.
Yes, your babes. All the talking babes.
Oh my god, can you imagine Schitt's Creek doing a revamp of Look Who's Talking? That's what I'm talking about.
Oh no. I just want them all to be babies, and then, like, the Schitt's Creek characters do the voices, and, like, as their characters. That would be great, honestly.
That would be so good.
And the Moira baby has, like, weird outfits all the time.
And, like, wigs, like baby wigs.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, I can't.
Kate, who are we? Who are we? Why are we here? What are we doing?
Why are there babies wearing wigs? Let me tell you. Babes. All right, so we are the Sisters Who've Seen It, the podcast where two sisters who are not movie critics look back on some of our favorites throughout the years through a psychological, ethical, and familial lens. I'm Katie.
I'm Bridget.
And... Oh, wait. Oh.
This is not
It's hard to quote it.
This is not a quotable movie because it's just a little kid saying silly things.
Which I do love, but, like, I don't remember.
It's like, I want James to be my daddy. I'm going to talk to him about that, you know? Like, it's all these, like, really cute, or the cute baby when they're in the stroller and he's, like, saying hi to all the little baby girls.
Oh my god, the one girl just monologues about her hair.
Yes. She goes, I don't know about my haircut. I don't know if I like it. He's like,
wait, did you look up fun facts for this movie at all?
I did, and they're interesting. Yeah, it's
okay.
Like that baby who played Mikey.
What's our movie?
Oh, our movie is the 1989 Look Who's Talking.
Look Who's Talking.
The first one, because then there's 3, and I did share this with you that I don't know if I like this movie. And so...
Is this gonna be your Love Actually?
Love Actually takes the cake on how much that sucked, but... I would type in, Look Who's Talking sucks. Like, is anyone agreeing with me? And apparently everyone hates the second movie.
But everybody probably loves the third movie because it's the unsung Christmas movie Joy and Rapture about dogs.
Well, that's obviously.
My opinion.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. So nobody really agreed with me. And so the Look Who's Talking franchise, this kicked it off. This was the big hit. And some interesting things is the director of Clueless and Fast Times at Ridgemont High did this one.
Well, that would explain why all of the 30-year-old adults act like children, I suppose. Because those were weird plot threads.
I thought there was a lot of weird plot threads. Her name is Amy Heckerling.
Oh, it's a female director.
Female director that I did not expect.
Yeah.
But how about one of the teachers from Clueless? Did you notice that character is like her best friend?
I didn't know that lady was in any other movie ever. whatever. So
I
didn't know. Oh no. I like the friend character. She's funny.
Yeah, she had the red hair and she was always wearing the glasses. Yes. But Kate, I think since I'm a little in the negative Nancy state, I think you should do this synopsis because maybe you could uplift it for me so I won't be so harsh.
All right, well, you owe me 2 synopsises then because Katie did Little Giants last time.
Did you?
Fine, we're not counting, except I am. Okay. All right, so this movie starts off with sperm.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how else to put it, everyone, all right? We are getting the real talk. We're having sex.
Oh, okay.
But we're not seeing the part of that. We're seeing, like, the inside part. And you see all the sperm, and it's swimming, and it's going to get an egg, and the sperms have voices, and one of the sperms is Bruce Willis. And for some reason, he's encouraging all the other sperm to join him, and if he was a smart sperm, he'd tell them to go the wrong direction. But he's not a smart sperm. And I'm pretty sure I am also describing what happens in Look Who's Talking Now, which is the third one. So I'm so sorry. Take a sip every time I reference it, because, like, it's just gonna keep happening. Anyway.
Okay.
So then we meet, who's having sex? What's happening? So then we meet our main character, whose name is Molly. She's played by Kirstie Alley, who we're gonna have to talk about. Yeah, she'll be talked about. But, you know, here she is. She is an accountant, and she is doing accounting for this guy named Albert. And guess what, guys? Albert sucks. He's the worst.
He sucks.
And he's ugly and old, and nobody likes it. And, you know, they bone, and then the Beach Boys sing Round, Round.
That's what it is.
Around. And yes, so that's great. So then we pretty quickly kind of get into, you know, we learn that Molly, she's not really dating this guy, but she's kind of like seeing him secretly, but he's married and he has kids, and he keeps kind of giving her this like, I'll leave my wife one day. And she's like, I love you, yay. And you're like, what the fuck? This is where the teenager plots come in, and it's weird.
Yeah.
So, and she doesn't know she's pregnant yet. And then you kind of see some scenes where there's like, I guess, signs or whatever, like she's sick and she's eating more, or she has like, I guess, more hunger or whatever you could say. I don't know. And then she just decides to take a pregnancy test, and boom, now we're gonna have a baby. And she doesn't tell anyone who the father is. She keeps telling everyone she's been artificially inseminated. And then there's horrible 80s jokes that the only people who get artificially inseminated are lesbians and
ugly women.
That's fine.
Direct quote.
They make more jokes about the lesbians, and all of it is lame. So, Anyway, so you just kind of see her. There's a lot of montages in this movie, which sometimes I don't hate because it's fun when the little kid's there. But you see a montage of her going through like pregnancy, whatever stuff, and I don't know, that stuff, whatever. So now she's like pregnant. Wow, she's gonna have a baby. And it's the same thing. Albert's like, one day I'll leave the wife. Who knows? And you're like, oh my God, what a day. And he kind of is like, oh, I'm gonna live in my own apartment. And like, I got my own apartment. And she's like, oh my God, yay, life's great. And then somehow we get to a department store where he is literally boning some lady over there. Where's the security? Ma'am? Anybody? Hello. And she's like, what the fuck? And so then basically they break up, and you know, everyone, this is the only way that labor starts is when you have a drama breakup on the street corner, a la Sex and the City movie. Okay. So she has to get a cab because we live in New York City and like blah blah. Who's driving the cab? Don't worry, John Travolta. Thank God. His name is James.
Staying alive.
It might be the same character, just like a little bit older version. So his name is James, and he's like, oh snap. So he drives her to the hospital, shenanigans, whatever. She has the baby. And when the baby is had, and a little bit before this, you start to hear the baby has like a voice, and it's Bruce Willis, the sperm. And he just says random things that are like, that's silly. And then he's born, and then there's more baby talks, and you're kind of like, LOL. So somehow John Travolta's character like stays in the picture. He like drops off Molly's purse because she left it at somewhere, and then somehow there's, I don't know, something. And then Molly's like a single mom, and then it kind of kicks off this weird subplot how she's like, I have to find a dad for the baby. And you're like, wow, I didn't know that was a requirement, but okay, she just fucking knew it. And then you see some stuff of that, and then somehow we get a setup where James is using her mailbox for mail for his grandpa. Okay, stay with me now. Okay, so
please argue this is a good movie after this, okay? Is anyone hearing this plot? Because I guarantee nobody remembers the real plot to this movie.
So we have a grandpa in a home, but then we have the mail for the home has to go to this place because it's in the city, but John Travolta doesn't live in the city, so he's using the mailbox, and then she catches him, and then he's like, let me use your mailbox, and she's like, no, and he's like, I'll babysit, and then she's like, great, and now James is a babysitter, like, all the time. So that's cool. And then, I don't know how much time passes, but time passes, and then the baby turns into, like, I don't even know if it's a toddler, maybe a 1-year-old.
Okay, so I thought the kid was like 3.
Bridget!
The kid is like 1.
He doesn't even talk, yeah. I don't know. He can kind of walk, but it's like fumbly and like whatever. So basically you get this gist of like, okay, like they bonded. Molly's going on lame dates and it's stupid, but then you kind of see like, oh, her and Jim like each other. And you're like, wow, that I guess is great. What, like, damn, can't we all just find love in our... never mind, bad joke. I was going to say find love in a babysitter. I take it back. Okay. Then don't worry, because the worst character in the movie comes back and rears his ugly head. It's Albert, because she's an accountant and she has to account for things. And that involves him. And then he, like, was basically not involved with the kid's life at all. And then he's like, I want to see him. And she's like, okay, great. Finally, you have a dad. And the baby Bruce Willis is like, I don't like that dad. He's weird. And then James finds out, and James flips his shit. And he's like, how dare you lie to me about this artificially not inseminated baby? I'm so upset with you. I gotta boogie Dawn down out of here. And then you have a stupid third act breakup. That's not really a breakup. And then she realizes Albert sucks. Then somehow we get to the old people home with Grandpa. Somehow Baby is there with Grandpa. Baby goes in a car and drives a car, but he is not driving a car. And then, in the end, John Travolta and Kirstie Alley find the babe who caused many, many traffic accidents and potentially injuries and death. We don't know. But, you know, he gets the baby and then we make out. And I guess they're in love. And that's it.
What did we like about this movie?
I mean, I don't know. I left maybe at it sometimes, but I didn't despise it.
I was so bored.
Why were you bored, really?
So I wanted more of the kid talking. The kid was the best part. Okay, wait. First, let me back up. Incredible job. I thought that was excellent. And
thanks.
I just wanted to hear the kid more, and I wanted to hear his perspective, and you know what it reminded me of? Although I love this movie, is Sister Act, where...
we love it.
We had to wait like 50 minutes for Sister Act.
Singing.
For the singing and the clapping and the dancing, and I felt like the kid was only like 1/5 of the movie. The rest is this ridiculous love story with this jerk, and I think John Travolta actually kind of saved the movie, because he had such a good character. And he was so funny and made the movie light, because she basically was just complaining the whole time. And it was tough. I was like, oh my God, I'm so sick of this.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just like, over it. But maybe if we go scene by scene, it won't be as negative. Maybe I'll just pull out the fun ones.
All right, well, don't forget, we start off with sperm.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
So, some backstory. I did read that this was like very intricate to film.
Was this
a puppet?
The sperm was puppet? I'm sorry.
No. The sperm was like fishing lures. What? But like the baby, you know how then it becomes like a baby inside and it's like all these weird jellyfish kind of like looking stuff?
Yeah, but I'm still on the sperm. Was that, how did we do that? Was that just computer?
No, it was a fishing, real? That was a fishing lure.
Bridget, wait, I'm sorry.
Like it looks...
There's no way.
Yes, like look it up. I don't know how and like the exact kind, but that's what I read.
I googled, look who's talking sperm. It's I don't want to look at those.
Your Google history is now gross.
That, like, blows my mind. I don't know. I thought it was, like, kind of, like, it didn't look bad. I thought it was, like, honestly, I was like, is this, like, real? How did we film this in a vagina?
Oh my
I
God.
don't know.
This is, like, the Jim Henson effect. And then when it turns into the baby later, they used, like, 12 people as, like, a puppet. So this was...
Jesus.
And that holds up. That's really fun. And the fact that, like, you're personifying sperm is really funny to me.
Yes.
As, like, let's go, guys, this way. Like, I love that, you know? Oh, my God.
Yeah, and it was Bruce Willis, and you're like, what? Okay. Y'all better get to Die Hard. Well, he did Die Hard by this point, but...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and then, you know, that's when we see Albert.
Kate.
He's the worst.
So, not only is he just this, like, horrible father, horrible person, he doesn't, like, get better at all.
No.
I don't understand anything she saw in him.
That's why I felt like such a teenager subplot. I was like, I'm sorry, are you 13 and an idiot? Because you took a roofie from Albert, and I think that's how we got pregnant. I don't know.
Yeah. The only thing, okay, because let's put our mind in the 80s with, like, the shoulder pads and all that, is that he had money. And she kept arguing, like, he's, like, stable because he has money. And I just was like, dude, I don't think he's attractive at all.
No, he was not.
I don't think he was interesting. Even when they were making out in the beginning, I was like, oh, like, don't let him touch you. Like, it creeped me out.
Get that sperm out of here.
How did he produce Bruce Willis? No way.
No.
That's not how that worked.
Yeah, no. And I have a note here that says, weird orgasm noise when the sperm gets in the egg. So that's gross. I guess we didn't need that part. But then right after that, you see Molly vomiting, and you're like, okay.
My response to that was Ophelia.
Oh, no.
But, okay, the woman from Clueless.
Yeah.
So I didn't even realize this was her real name. Twink Kaplan.
Oh.
That's a name,
dear.
But
okay.
Miss Geist. People that might be my age will be like, oh my God, Miss Geist. Did she have the lipstick on her teeth? And they set up with Mr. Hall to try to get the good grades? Yeah, she's Kirstie Alley's best friend. And you're like, what?
Yeah. But I liked the friend character in this movie because, well, she was kind of like an airhead, but that's why I thought it was funny, where she's just like, I'm dating this guy, but we broke up, whatever. Meanwhile, like, Kirstie Alley's vomiting in the tub, and she's like, anyway, my problem. It's about me now. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, and she kind of calls Kirstie Alley out. She's like, he's married. What are you expecting of this? Really? Now you're pregnant? Really? Like, and then she is supportive. She helps, like, put baby stuff together at the house.
And then they get angry at the swinging scene. They start beating the crap out of it, and that was great.
That actually was great. And I also looked at, like, how those baby products were made, and I was like, oh my God, it was just like metal and plastic death traps, you know?
Definitely.
1980s, woof.
Lots of recalls on those, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, we also meet Molly's parents.
Oh, boy.
And they were,
oh, boy.
They were characters, I suppose, is the best thing I can think. The mom was a very, like, stereotypical, like, why aren't you married yet type mom, which is lame, but also a little realistic.
Very realistic.
So it's very frustrating, honestly.
Yes, I can't believe 30 years later that moms are still talking this way.
Yeah, mom, who doesn't listen to this? Get off my back, all right? I live my life. Anyway, excuse me. And her mom is like, I'm also an accountant, and I love your father because he's an accountant. And then the joke is like, she always talks about how much she loves the father, and then it would pan to the father, and he's just like an old guy, like minding his business, like reading. And then that's like the joke. And I'm like, wait, what's the joke? I don't know the joke.
Well, and at one point, Kirstie Alley's like frustrated of like, I date these men and they all stink and I can't find one. And then her mom's like, you need to find someone that has common interests like you. And I kept thinking, wait, what is your common interest with your husband? Because
I think it's accounting. That's it. That's the jokes.
Oh, God.
It's all just account. It's like, you've have seen Parks and Rec? It's like when Ben Wyatt is like on the side an accountant and then he goes to work for that accounting place and everyone's like really boring but they love him and then he always quits in the first day. That's like where these people I think work because I don't know what else to say.
But she was tough. The mom. So Olympia Dukakis. There's some fun facts with her that she had just performed in Moonstruck.
Oh, okay.
And had this, it's actually really sad, like looking at these numbers now, but had this bet with this movie that was like, if I win an Oscar, you have to pay me like $50,000 or something, which I guess back then was a lot of money, which is really sad to think about. Dear. But she did. She won an Oscar and then they had to pay her. And so that was like her, there's all these like things about her tough negotiating skills.
Is that negotiating or is that gambling?
Well, I was like, for 50 grand, so like, oh my God. Yeah, and it is gambling. How do you know who's gonna win?
Right.
Whatever. But I was like, wow, you went from Moonstruck to this. Okay. Okay, do we also talk about Albert's wife and how she's bulimic? So we can't leave her because she's bulimic. Drink every time he says that. What?
Yeah. I was grateful that they didn't like really show, like, I don't think we ever see her. She's just like this person that we hear about and like you never see her, which I was like, thank fucking God, because I did not need that whole soap opera.
No, thank you.
But again, that's like a teenager subplot. Like, what the fuck? It's weird.
This is good. I'm glad you're describing it this way because it is very teenager. It's so weird. And then like Kirstie Alley's character is this like it could have been played so different. She's an accountant. Yeah. She decides to, because back then this wasn't really a thing in 1989. She keeps working, right? Even after having a baby, which like women were always like, you have a baby, stay at home. That's your job. Now, the rest of the movie though is about her only trying to find a husband or a father.
Well, it's technically finding a father because she's like, I don't care if I like him. And I'm like,
ew, I hate
you should probably like him. I don't know.
That's part of finding a better father.
Yeah.
So it was just a lot of like mixed messages, and her mom kind of was this little insecurity lens of like, you never go out. You're always hanging out with your parents. You're never going to find anyone. You're never. Your biological clock is ticking.
Okay, I was going to ask about that because the doctor says that to her, and the doctor is a fucking male doctor. And Bridge, I don't know who your doctors are, but like,
a woman.
Did you ever have anyone say this to you?
And let me tell you, I am older than her in this movie. She is 33.
I don't know if she really is 33, though. I felt like she lied, because she was kind of like, 33. And the doctor's like, yeah, so? Okay.
Well, I just, let's face it. None of these movies could ever do, like, abortions. Like, Hollywood was not ready for those. Yeah. But, like, a part of me was like, that wasn't even a conversation. It was like, she assumed Albert wanted her to get one. He was like, no, I want you to keep it, and I'm so excited for this. And she's like, good. And I just kept being like, wait, but, like, is this the right plan for you?
That's why I felt like that's such, like, a stupid teenager thing where it's like, well, we'll have the baby. That'll make him stay, right? Ugh. And you're like, no, young 20-year-old, wrong. No. Oh, wait, you're mid-30s? Oh, dear. Not good.
Oh, dear is right.
But, so, obviously, the jig is up. She's pregnant. There's also, like, weird dream sequences in this movie, and it's in all of the Look Who's Talking movies, which is sometimes confusing, because it doesn't seem like it's a dream sequence, and then, like, something weird happens. You're like, now I am in a dream, what? Okay.
So, we were never prepared for it, to your point. Like, even if it was, like, a subtle music cue or anything. So, you kind of thought it was really happening, and then you're like, huh? And by the time you realized it wasn't, you're on to the next scene, you're confused. I was confused.
Well, Bridget, if that annoys you, don't worry, because in Look Who's Talking Now, the third one, they definitely have a music cue and little for their dream sequences.
Wow, so thanks for listening.
Yes, they learned something. And they made Danny DeVito a dog, so thank God for that.
Wow. Don't worry, because as she gets pregnant, and this does happen, she keeps getting weighed. And now, she was actually, like, chill about it. She was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But, Kirstie Alley's life of her doing the whole, like, I lost a lot of weight. I gained a lot of weight. And, like, I just was like, oh, I hate...
Is this where we should shit talk Kirstie Alley? Because I have things to say.
Oh, the platform is yours, Kate, because you are the CEO of it. So go.
So when we first got our Sisters Who've Seen It Twitter, follow us on Twitter, y'all.
Woo!
I went and followed actors and movie people because, like, movies. And she was one of the people I followed. And very quickly, I came to find that she is one of the hardest chorused Donald Trump supporters. And bye-bye, girl. I fucking... No. That was an unfollow or what, I don't even know what it's called on Twitter. So, she sucks.
Wow.
It's a shame, too, because she really was, like, in a lot of movies that even, like, growing up, you're like, oh, yeah, that was a good one. Like, It Takes Two? Come on, girl! And I'm pretty sure Steve Guttenberg's also one of those Trumpers, so that's also ruins everything, and thank God the Olsen twins kept their head on straight. Damn.
I mean, they're a true baby boomer, though, right? Like, think of the age.
Very disappointing. So that's all I have to say about how she sucks.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't love her this much in this movie because I thought all she did was complain and just try to find a man. So boring. So, yeah, I also hated the fact that she has this, like, secret relationship with Albert, but she makes out with him in, like, the hallways and everywhere public.
They did make out in a park. I don't remember hallways, but I'm sure it happened.
Like, at the office in the hallway. She's always like, oh, Albert, stop it. And I'm like...
Oh, at his office?
I don't know. All over. Any office. Insert any office.
Well, he just likes to make out places because he's fucking making out at the department store. I'm so confused how we're all okay with it. I don't get it. But we do get a great quote from Bruce Willis Bebe.
Yes, we do.
And it's when he's the little alien Bebe. And I'm sorry. I know some people get offended when you call little babies aliens, but they look like
they're
little
aliens.
Fucking aliens.
Yeah.
So it's when he looks like a little alien and he goes, like, someone's having a conversation or like she's reading a book about like, oh, by this many weeks you start to know like what the sex is or the sex organs form or something, whatever. And so he goes, wow, I got a little arm coming in down there. Now how am I gonna get that in my mouth? And doesn't have plot relevance? No. It's just funny.
But it was
we love it.
Thank God those existed. I also laughed when he was like, hey, can I get some apple juice down here?
Yeah.
And she starts chugging it. I gotta tell you, like, I feel that way sometimes. Oh my God. Because it's kind of the festive season, I've been buying apple cider. Ooh. And I literally look like her in the kitchen every now and then. I'm like, glug, glug, glug.
You should film that, because that was impressive. I was like, holy shit, girl. Get yourself in a contest of some kind. My God.
But the thing that movies do that is not true to pregnancy is like she keeps working and everything's fine. And she is just shopping right before she has labor. And it's like...
And she's wearing stupid ass overalls. Bitch! No.
I'm like, oh
how
my God.
How are you bending down with that?
Yeah, how do you even put those on? Do you know how hard it is to put pants on right now? One leg at a time?
Yeah, no. But I love how they're in this department store, and because, again, like, plot, and this is another thing I feel like movies think is normal, and I don't know anyone who fucking does this, but she's like, look how cute this dress is. You try it on. And then instead of being a normal person going to the dressing room, the friend just starts changing in the middle of the store. And, like, I swear I've seen that in other movies, and I don't think I've ever met anyone that's done that. Why do you think we do that? What?
And she, like, just rips off her shirt as she does it. And you're like,
yeah.
What?
And it was obviously to be, like, because if they went towards the dressing room, then they would have maybe not seen, whatever. So then he's making out with, who was it, like a decorator or something stupid?
He got, like, this new decorator. And, like, we do see a scene before where he's, like, kind of flirting. And then Kirstie Alley's like, do you think she's pretty? And he's like, no, you're beautiful.
Teenage nonsense.
This is also, like, a really terrible statistic. But when women are pregnant, that is the highest statistic of their partners cheating on them.
Great. Fuckers.
I remind James of that all the time.
Oh my God.
Do you know statistically? He's just like, shut up. Where do I go?
Well, Bridget, if you ever see him making out with someone in a department store, I will appear and I will jump on his back like a monkey and beat the shit out of him on the street corner. Don't think I won't.
He'll already be dead by me. But
I'll do it, yeah.
But like, it just is so sad to see that. Yeah, so, and then of course she just gets into labor. Don't worry. No bag packed. No birth plan.
No, it's fucking fine.
So we don't even have the internet. She's not Googling things. Like, does she even know the address? It's fine because John Travolta's in a taxi ready to pick her up.
And then he's like, oh, jeez, lady. Ugh. And she's like, give it. And then it turns into, do you ever remember that game called Crazy Taxi? That was like on the Nintendo? No. Oh my God. It was horrible. And you basically just drove around like a crazy person in a taxi and somehow you earned points and it was weird. But that's what this reminded me of because he was reckless.
Wow. I cannot tell you how I know they were trying to be funny for a movie that he was such a bad driver and like taxis are bad drivers and whatever. But I just kept thinking like, she's gonna die. She's gonna die. The baby's gonna die. What is funny about this? Because maybe I'm too high strung because it stressed me out.
Well, it's also like New York City. Like, y'all ever driven in New York City? Because it sucks. And you can't just like speed through. That's not how it works. Everybody moves like 2 inches at a time and some bullshit. So, but she does yell at him at one point. She's like, my baby's probably gonna have brain damage because of you. Which, you know, we don't want the baby to have that, of course.
No,
but
we
I mean,
don't.
I understand why she said that. And I did laugh. I'm not gonna lie. Also, there's a part where he goes, you gotta use Lamaze. And then this is a quote I wrote down. She goes, the only people who say stupid things like that are men because they're idiots. Which, yeah. I mean, have you taken or took
I did take a Lamaze class.
You did? Oh,
yes,
wow.
And let me just tell you, it is not all about breathing, okay? So this is a huge misconception.
Yeah.
There are some breathing techniques, but it's really just like educating you on like how birth is done and what choices you want to make. But they lean towards, like, you'll notice with some of the classes, they lean towards more like natural, which I was like, give me the drugs!
Yeah!
But I laughed because this movie made it seem like, hey, you know how you have the most traumatic thing happen to your body and it's like this incredible thing that you as a woman can like create life and then you have to go through this horrible, horrible thing of like labor? Just breathe. Ladies,
but I think that was like breathe. The joke because she was only heing the Lamaze comments from men, which I thought was funny. Yeah. Well, and that one crotchety nurse, which I didn't really understand.
Oh my God, what was her problem?
I don't know. I was like, what's your beef, lady? Like, who pissed you off this morning? Because I don't know why you're like reading a book while this lady's like crying over there.
She was like reading a magazine at her job.
Weird. Not okay.
John Travolta also has a homophobic comment about when she said, he's like, where's the father? And she said, I'm artificially inseminated. And he goes, what are you, a lesbo? I'm like, oh my God, 80s.
There was all jokes like that. The mom made a joke about that before. And like, not that she was actively joking about it, but like, she made a comment and the movie meant it as a joke. But like, no. But somehow John Travolta doesn't speak up when a man is like, put on these scrubs. And he just does.
Kate, let me just explain. If I am in New York City, labor is happening. I am in a taxi with someone that almost killed me, and I'm screaming at him, and then he has the audacity to come into the labor and delivery room as a stranger? What?
The only time it's okay is when it's Sinbad from Coneheads, alright? And the other taxi guy who I don't know his name. That's the only time. It's the only time it's acceptable.
But they were best friends, Kate, for years.
That's true.
This man just met her. I really was like, what? And then she just rolls with it. She's just yelling at him like it's normal. Like, oh, he's here. That's that. La la la. I'm like, I'd be like, get out of this room. Who are you?
Yeah. That was one of the parts that I was laughing at because I'm like, wow. I mean, am I supposed to take it seriously? Because I'm not. I'm laughing at it.
Yeah.
But that's where she's like, give me the drugs. And then he does, he steps up and he just grabs a random doctor and the doctor's like, okay, sure. I don't know if this is my patient. Let's inject. Woo! Party! And then you see a scene of baby Bruce Willis on drugs. And it's so stupid, but I laugh.
Okay.
It's like a psychedelic disco in the womb.
Okay. So I did love this, but I have to tell you that now that's like a big mom shame. Is like everybody wants everything natural and like no drugs. And so when I saw that, first of all, I was laughing really hard. I thought it was so funny. Like his hands like all blurry.
He goes, hey, here's Mr. Hand here. Wow.
But I don't think this actually happens to the baby, right? Like this is like,
you don't think the baby has like a rave by itself in the womb? I don't know. I believe it.
I hope she does, but it's just like, I was like, this is perpetuating lies.
You want her to come into the world partying, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. That's all.
Oh my god. Well, and I also loved how the way that they made it seem was that he was going down a slide into the light. And I was like, I wish that's how that happened. They just fly out.
If only. Yeah. Oh my god. The best is when he comes out and he's just it's from Bruce Willis' baby perspective.
So good.
And he's just screaming bloody murder at all the faces where it's like the doctor and he's like, ah! And then he sees James, he's like, ah! And then he sees Molly and he's like, who's that? Ah! And they're all just like smiling. Oh my god. Oh my god. So freaking funny.
But that's what saved this movie, is like those moments. That's what saved it. It was so funny. But again, like a movie, she just like, after labor, she's just like out and about and she's like, oh man, I really screwed up because you don't have a father and I'm looking at you from the glass and I'm like...
Yeah, I was like, where the fuck is grandma with some brownies, okay?
Yeah,
this is a bunch of bullshit.
Why aren't you sleeping? Why don't you rest? You just had labor. And of course, Hollywood's like, you're up and ready to go. And it's like, oh god. Yeah, it's crazy.
But then immediately it's like, okay, now we're back from the hospital and I don't know what day it is or what happened, but John Travolta busts the fuck in there and he's like, hello, here's your purse. And then she's like, what the fuck? How did you find me? And he doesn't really answer. So that's weird. And then you get more just like, actually you do see him being cute with the baby, because you see him like talking to the baby and be like, what's up? Like, hi baby. And he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, he did try to like light up a cigarette and drink breast milk, but
okay, that's not cool. I take back some of the cool. That's not the cool.
But he got there. He got there. And the thing that is funny about this movie is like it puts the baby in this really smart position that like, oh, when I cry, you bring me milk and like I'm gonna manipulate you, or like,
well, he does, because he's talking, which is another funny part. He's talking to the mobile above him and he's like, hey fellas, I got something in my pants. It's a little wet. Can anybody help me out? And then it like the camera pans up and it's like the mobile of like little cute animals. And he's like, anybody want to help me? Nobody? Okay. And then that's when Molly comes in.
Oh my god.
It's so funny. Yeah. I mean, this was another montage, I think, where it's like her as I guess, I don't know if it was like purposely portraying her as like the single mom and like emphasizing that, but it was just showing her like raising him and like, going through the whole like, oh, I'm waking up late at night and I gotta make a bottle and I'm tired and I'm by myself and I gotta like travel with the baby. And like, I'm sorry, I do not know how people live in a city with bebés, because that just seems stress.
Nothing was safe about this, because she was literally just carrying him into taxis. There's no car seats, and carrying him out. And I was like, half those taxis you take in New York don't have seatbelts for you.
Definitely not.
So like,
definitely not.
Yeah,
not safe.
That's the part you just kind of like, all right, moving on, because this movie, we'll just have to ignore that. And then we go into the dating scenes with all the weird dating guys, and I was like, Kate. It's just
I go, this is PTSD for me. Because I hate it all.
Well, and it's just like everyone feels that, you're just like, oh god, why do we all have to go through these like terrible dating scenarios?
Yeah. And then somehow in here is where the other plot something happens where James is sending, I'm not going to be able to explain it well the second time around, but it involves Grandpa, we haven't met yet, and then mail, and then Kirstie Alley's apartment, and then babysitting. So you all connect the dots, okay? Because I don't know what else to say about it.
It's terrible, and we all just move on, and then he becomes the babysitter. Let's just skip to that part.
He literally becomes the babysitter, and not only does he just become the babysitter, but then like 30 seconds later, Kirstie Alley falls asleep at the table. She was just having a conversation, now she's asleep at the table. So he picks her up and moves her to the bed, and homegirl does not wake up. And then John Travolta says, I have a great idea. Let's go on a baby, vacation right now. And then he literally takes the baby and like leaves. And like, what the fuck is we doing?
Yes.
How did he drive his taxi with the baby?
And, okay, first of all, the amount of danger. The kid's in the front seat.
Not good.
No car seat.
No.
And then he takes the kid to the airport, and I thought, holy crap, are we going on an airplane with this baby?
I didn't remember.
I had, like, heart palpitations. I was like, leave the baby back! And then she does have an appropriate reaction to him when he comes back, where she, like, punches him in the face and, like, called the cops and this and that.
I thought that was funny.
But I also felt like this dude is just rolling up into your life as a stranger. He's in the delivery room. You made him the babysitter. Like, you're killing me. You're very distracted trying to find this husband, and you're just letting this stranger around your kid. Kirstie, get it together.
I mean, she just has to stay awake for more than 30 seconds, because I think that was more of the problem. She just wasn't, like, paying attention well, honestly.
I have these endless lines that I wrote that says, this movie needs more baby talking and less romantic garbage.
Well, we do have a baby montage here, because then after this is where the baby grows up to potentially toddler baby. I don't know if we even know the age, but I feel like it's not.
Well, this is where I was like, is the kid now 2 or 3? Like, and I thought this is really cute, because it's really cute to see the kid grow up, and like,
so
he's a
cute.
really cute kid.
With the little, like, height chart, and like watching him, like, learn how to, like, hold a cup and sip it.
With his little backwards hat. I can't. It was so cute. And this is where John Travolta, like, saved the movie, because he had such good chemistry with the kid and
with the baby.
and also Kirstie Alley, and was just very kind of like light and funny, but he starts trying to sabotage her dates.
Oh, this is the weird guy who comes in. Kirstie Alley is fully dressed, and then she goes, hey, I just gotta go get dressed. And then she leaves the scene, and then 5 minutes later comes back with the same outfit. Okay, I don't understand what getting dressed means to her, but fine. And this is where the adult man fights with the 1-year-old about what to watch on TV. And
I hated it.
I mean, I think there are men who exist who would do that.
I know.
If I'm being honest, which is so lame. It was so cute. He's like, hey, it's the bear show. It's like the Snuggle commercial. It's so cute. Oh my god, it's so cute. I can't.
Yeah, but it was just like, that was like the worst date ever, because John Travolta's like, oh, she doesn't want anything paid for this or that, and he really takes that to heart, and
very My Girl.
Oh my god, yes! Very My Girl.
Yeah.
But yeah, just thank God we get to more baby scenes, and this is where he like meets in the stroller the other babies, and it made me laugh so hard.
Okay, question. I don't know if you came across this in the fun facts, but like a lot of these scenes where it was voiceover of either the baby or just even the groups of babies, and I know obviously there is a script, and like some things are important we have to say, but a lot of the things that are said like aren't plot important things, and I wondered if maybe some of it was like ad-libbed.
Ooh.
And I don't know if you came across
I didn't come across any of that.
I wondered that with this part, because it's literally like the little girl, like, you're not going to be able to tell a 1-year-old, like, hey, play with your hair.
I know.
So, like, I'm like, there's no way they wrote that in the script to do a voiceover. Like, I feel like they filmed the kid and then they told the voice person, like, just ad-lib for this amount of time. Like, go team. And that's what I felt like that whole scene was. And it was awesome.
It was so awesome.
It was so funny.
Bruce Willis responding is always like, yeah, your haircut. yeah.
And then he's like, nice talking to you, I guess, when he, like, didn't say anything because she monologued the whole time.
Your theory is right. You're definitely right about that. Because it wasn't just and then they would, like, move their lips, too, which you thought, okay, that's just, like, cool. And it doesn't need to line up, because, like, we're talking about babies, and we know this is silly. But then the gestures, like, the high fives and touching the hair and the pointing, you thought, well, damn, like, you know, call James, and he picks up the phone, you know, all these things that were just so like,
I know, my God. Oh, so then this is where you see the little babies, and they're in the sandbox, and then the one kid gets picked up, and then Mikey's like, who's that? And the girl's like, oh, that's just your daddy. You know, the daddies. It's like, I don't know, it's like the big guy, it's the daddy. Like, you're like, wow, what a kid response. And then he's like, wow, okay, maybe I'll ask James to be my daddy. And I was like, oh, it's so cute.
Except, okay, we panned to what I think was a Bob scene.
Oh, I know. Yes, it was.
Where she's like, why is Kirstie Alley doing like a sexy strip dance for her kid?
Not okay. And then she tells the kid, don't look. You're doing it in front of him. Where's he gonna look? He's in a high chair. What are you talking about?
These are the scenes that made me hate this movie. Like, I was like, why are you, like, doing a sexy dance with your kid? And then James walks in and he's like, oh, hubba, hubba. And you're like, okay.
Well, and then he, like, kind of lays her on the table, and then she goes, we shouldn't do this in front of the kid. And I was like, wait, did I miss a scene where y'all already made out? But, like, they didn't. So, what do you...
Oh, my God.
I don't know what that was. I don't know.
I don't know. And then we end up at Grandpa's place.
Grandpa!
And like, oh my God, and we're talking about candy, and he can only have one candy a day, and you're setting up the scene for later when Grandpa loses his shit and they want to kick him out.
Sure, yeah.
And I just was like, I don't know what is happening. I don't know why she's there, because she has to like set up residency, but he's already lying about his address. Why is she there?
I think he just wanted to hang out with her, but then also like Mikey was there, so you're like, okay, cool. But then immediately after, he's like, let's go flying. And then Mikey's not there. Where the fuck is Mikey?
I don't know, and I hope it's not with Grandpa.
No! Mikey's driving a taxi across New York City. Oh, God. Somebody take away his license. I don't know. But that was, I mean, whatever. I guess you needed a scene of, like, just them and, like...
Boring. Go back to the kid. Boring.
Yeah, and then they're making out, and then I wrote weird on the nose music. Because it was a song that's like, Daddy's home. And I was like, I didn't like it. Nobody likes that. Please stop. And that's where we have a weird daydream, Bridge. You remember this one?
Yeah, like, James is supposed to be this, like, loser with no money, so don't worry, she's gonna have, like, 6 kids and be pregnant, smoking cigarettes, and just, that's the deadbeat daydream. You're like, what?
And he gets lettuce from dumpsters.
Yeah, you just have to pull off the outside. I was like, what is... And that's where, if this movie had that level of, like, light comedy, I would have followed it. But we got so heavy with, like, the Albert stuff. And then Albert comes back into the picture, and she gets, like, upset all over again. I'm like, I'm so sick of the romance stuff. Like, can't we live in, like, silly light world where, like, I guess John Travolta is getting you lettuce because you think he's poor? I don't know. It's fine.
Getting you free lettuce from the dumpster.
I don't know, but it hit kind of home because he's like, I love airplanes and flying them. And I was like, is this my husband?
Oh, no. Well, don't worry, Bridget, because in Look Who's Talking Now, which is the third movie, he does become a pilot for real. And then it's kind of like a plot point.
Wow. Well, drink every time the third movie is referenced, folks.
Who's drunk? Raise your hands if you can.
Oh, my God.
Okay, so yes, we see Albert, and he sucks, and I don't know, he's like, oh, I'm seeing a psychiatrist. But anyway, let's make out. And she's like, no. And then he's like, I want to see the baby. And then she's like, maybe. Okay, fine. And then, for some reason, Albert thinks it makes sense to just show up.
Oh, my God.
No announcements. Like, y'all, phones are invented. I don't know why you think you need to not call, but he just appears, and James answers the door, and he's like, the fuck are you? Get out of my fucking face. He's like, yes, James, that's right. Close the door in his face. And somehow Albert gets in, he's like, I'm the dad, and then they get in a fight, and it's weird. And I wrote, please don't fight in front of the children.
The children.
The one children. Yes. Don't do it. Oh my
God. Yeah. I guess they had to have some sort of like rift because the movie, first of all, I thought the movie could have just ended with them liking each other and like that's that. But we had to keep going with all the kooky dooky stuff.
Yeah, Bridge, we can't forget about Grandpa.
Oh my God.
We gotta get that ending in there for some reason.
And then her boss is like forcing her to go work with Albert because she gave up his account, which is like rightfully so. He like ditched her after all this and she's got to deal with him again. And then we got to deal with Grandpa again. Kate, I just wanted all these plot lines to be gone and I wanted to just talk with Mikey and Bruce Willis.
Well, and it is like one of these things where James then, like Molly comes home and James like immediately is like, why did you lie about who Mikey's father is? And this is the Spanish soap opera. This is where this happens.
Oh my God.
And then he's like, do you love him? And then she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, Molly, the answer is no. God. And then she's like, you're not his father, and that this was like very soap opera, and James got very upset, rightfully so, because like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure he's hanging out with Mikey more than the mom is. What do I know? Like, he's babysitting all day. I don't know. What does he do? And it's sad. And then when he like goes to leave or whatever, they get a fight, whatever. They go to leave, but then there is a scene where James comes back for something and he like talks to Mikey. Oh, that was really sweet.
Oh my god, it was adorable, but so it was sad. It made me really, really sad. And like even him going off about like, you think I'm not responsible, but like getting pregnant by a married man is responsible, and like
truth bomb.
I mean, it's just, but I felt like literally the reason she didn't get with John Travolta is because, like, what, he didn't have money? It felt so weak.
Yeah. Well, then she's like, all right, Mikey, don't worry, you're gonna go see your father. And then he's like, yay, James! And then you're like, sorry, Mikey, this is where you're gonna learn a lesson that life sucks and sometimes your expectations don't get met and everything's wrong. And we go to see Albert, and I go, Mikey's reaction to creepy Albert is my reaction, which is horror and confusion. Because why? Albert's like really freaky, and he's like, he makes like weird baby talk, and I don't like it. And then he immediately starts being like, Molly, let's make out. And she's like, there's a baby here, sir. Damn.
Well, and I'm also like, aren't you with that other woman? And is that done? I couldn't even keep up with his like sluttiness.
I don't know. I didn't bother to keep up because I was like, eh.
That's what you have to do. I think that is what makes this movie fun, is if you don't actually pay attention. I think I paid attention too much. And I think people need to not do that. That's your PSA, folks.
Just gotta laugh at it.
Yes.
And especially laugh at when Mikey is pooping in the corner, and then the guy goes, is he pooping? And Molly goes, no, he's thinking really hard.
Well, and then how about he goes, you can't change the diaper on my $20,000, $10,000 desk, and she takes literally the poop and smears it all over it. And I thought, well, amazing. Okay, I'm here for that part. And then they destroyed the office like Kill Bill.
Yeah, I could have used some, Uma Thurman also like materializing in the scene and just like slicing things with the sword, and then she disappears and we don't talk about it. Like, that would be great. But for some reason, next I have, oh no, Grandpa.
Oh my god, now it's Grandpa.
This is the Grandpa. Okay.
Now we get to the end because Grandpa's fighting people because, like a child, he ate too much candy.
Yeah, like all people react to candy. What?
And then don't worry, they leave as they go talk to the place because they have nowhere else to put Grandpa, so they really got to make him stay. They leave their baby, or she leaves her baby with Grandpa, and then he sees like a hot grand lady and leaves the kid. And I'm like, what?
Well, there's multiple instances of negligence because there's like a stupid orderly or like a nurse or I don't know, and he's like, this old man bit my arm. Look what he did to me. And I was like, you fucking sign up for this job, you little bitch. You think I'm going home complaining about kids that punch me? Get over it. God damn,
you
sir.
get punched?
Yeah, sometimes.
Like a lot?
No, Bridget. What? I'm not working at Rikers Island. Damn, I work with elementary school kids. But like, you signed up for this job, so like, don't complain about your job. And then she says to that guy, she's like, will you watch them? As in like Grandpa and the baby. And the guy's like, sure. Yeah. And you're like, okay, someone's responsible and capable. And then that fucker is like, break time, bye-bye. He literally leaves. And that's why everything's wrong. And then yes, Grandpa does leave to go hit on a hot grandma. I don't even know. And then baby, he like goes in a lot lot of places.
He goes down the elevator, into a car, takes a breadstick, and was like, James showed me.
Some old lady fucking hands him a breadstick. She goes, here you go back to your grandma. And then he just wanders away. What the fuck?
And then he ends up in a random car and takes the breadstick and tries to make it go. And it's so funny because it's a tow truck, so it actually goes. And he's like,
I at first didn't realize it was a tow truck. I was like, why the fuck is this breadstick trick working? And am I being dumb? What am I missing?
Okay, you didn't know breadsticks start cars? You didn't know that?
Now I know. The more you know.
Oh my god. And then, basically, Kirstie Alley, John Travolta come out at that time, and thank God they see him, because I kept thinking, like, you can't see this kid. I don't understand how you see him. And then they go on the chase. And then he ends up in the most dangerous streets of the world.
It's the worst!
and he almost gets killed, and we're all like, let's make out.
They do, but not after Mikey says his first word. What's his first word, Bridge?
Dada.
That was really cute.
That was
a
really...
little like, fuck you, Kirstie Alley, because like, why doesn't he say mama? But like, I guess. Bridget's annoyed. Bridget's
lots of thoughts about that, but
Bridget's annoyed.
I mean, the whole movie was about men. The whole movie was about wanting men to leave your wife for you and be with you and find a great father, and it just is all about men. It was boring.
Bridge, how the fuck are you gonna rewatch Clueless? You're gonna get upset, girl. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're in for a rude awakening with that mindset.
With Clueless?
Yeah.
But they're like high school kids.
These people are high school kids.
She's a mid-30-year-old accountant. I expect more from her.
That's called bad writing. That's what that's called.
Which is such a shame, because, so I looked it up. It was written by that woman, which is like, oh man. But you're right. And then we end with a sperm scene, which is basically a sequel. And you're like, oh my god.
I'm pretty sure Gilbert Gottfried's in the sequel too, and does a weird like song and dance number with babies. Or I made that up, but I'm pretty sure that's true.
Wow, that could be described for the bad reviews. Okay, Kate, watch it or don't watch it. We seem to be in disagreement about this.
I think you should watch it at least once, because it's funny, and you can't take it too seriously, because it's a fucking rom-com, and I'm sorry, I don't take any rom-com seriously, because most of them are dumb, so no, it's dumb. Go in, laugh at the bebe scenes, and you're gonna have a good time. And then right after, skip the second movie, watch the third one with the dogs.
It sounds like people should start with the third one, because you seem to love that one.
It is the best one, I will say. And it's Christmas themed, so hooray for you. Charles Barkley's in the third one too, by the way. He makes a cameo. People don't forget.
Charles Barkley?
People don't forget, because the little girl has she loves Charles Barkley because she wants to fly, and so it's she sees him do jumping, and and then there's a Peter Pan scene. I cannot. There's so many things, Bridge. I can't.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing. I gotta watch that one. Maybe I'll watch that one and it'll lighten me up. I think, yeah, sure, watch it once, but that's enough.
Okay.
Well, we did it. We did it, and we're here. So, Kate, what's next?
So, Bridge, it's been a while, but
It's been a while.
do have a quote for this movie. Yes.
God.
It's a different kind of quote, but it is a quote. So I'm gonna send it to you.
All right. I'm going to play it in 3, 2, 1.
All right, Mom. Yes. Our movie this week is Look Who's Talking.
Oh, I love Look Who's Talking, John Travolta and that little kid. Whatever happened to him? Where did he end up?
The toddler?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bruce Willis.
And that's Bruce Willis.
Oh, did I say John Travolta?
No, he's in it, but Bruce Willis is the kid voice.
Oh my God, that baby should be talking for real at that age. That child should be able to speak.
We don't know how old the kid is.
So. Oh, he's old enough. I teach children who can walk around. He should be speaking. But I like the premise. I thought it was very funny.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so the face I'm making right now is the face that I made when she goes on her monologue that nobody asked about. I didn't need to know the developmental milestones for this fictional child. Hello? What is happening? So listeners, that's our mom. That's what we deal with. Bridget's gonna have to deal with that as a new mom. Hooray.
Okay, so basically everything that happens in our house is Dad never speaks. So Mom speaks, but the moment she speaks, he corrects her. And then she doesn't listen. So then she tries to listen but not listen. So she's convinced that now John Travolta's not in the movie, but Bruce Willis is. And that's probably the conclusion. She's gonna be like, I never knew Bruce Willis played. I thought it was John Travolta.
Well, and then her phone's going off, and the only thing that was missing was dogs barking. So I don't know. That's what I got. So.
Bravo, Kate, bravo.
Oh, yeah.
And thank you, Mom. We know you don't listen, but if you do, we love you.
We do
thank
love you.
Okay.
Well, Bridge, it is the holiday season. So I am going to dive into the pool of holidays.
Oh, wow.
And my movie pick is actually from the same decade.
Oh, okay. I think you were going to say director. I was going to say, oh, wow.
It is not. It is a very different genre, and I am being a little selfish with my pick, but so this is from 1984, and LOL, this is rated PG. 80s what? 80s no. So this doesn't say anything about Christmas, but this movie takes place around Christmas. So
okay.
we're gonna consider it a Christmas movie because it's got snow and presents. It's Santa shit. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay. I don't even know if I can describe it because it's going to give it away, honestly.
Is it horror? You're leading me to think that.
It's comedy, fantasy, horror.
Wow.
I'll give you the director, which I don't know if that'll click for you, but maybe for some listeners it will. The director is Joe Dante, and wow, that was written by Chris Columbus. What the fuck?
Doesn't help me. I don't know.
Okay, I will read you the one little line and you're gonna know immediately what it is. So, a young man inadvertently breaks 3 important rules concerning his new pet, and he unleashes a horde of mal-violently mischievous monsters. Goddamn. On a small town.
Yes,
This is the 1984 movie Gremlins.
Hey!
Which, I mean...
Is it a Christmas movie? Question mark.
It's Christmas. Like, this all takes place on Christmas Eve, I believe.
No, this is fun horror. I dig this one. They're funny. It kind of has like, it's disgusting in some parts, but... Yeah. And then they're all like... They get all weird at one point when they like, I don't know, get... What is it? Water after midnight? What is it?
Don't feed them after midnight. Don't let them get wet, and don't put them in sunlight. So basically, keep them in a box and don't look at them.
Honestly,
that's
what were
we
those
learned.
Little Tamagotchis we had to keep alive? I mean, jeez.
Oh my god. Yeah, pretty much. So.
Oh, this is good though, and I haven't seen this in a long time.
Well, to help you kick off the holiday season, let's watch people getting attacked and potentially murdered. Hooray!
Yay!
Whee! But there's snow, so it's fun. Yippee! And Corey Feldman's in it with a bowl cut, so we'll be talking about that. Don't even worry about it. Don't you worry.
Kate, I'm looking this up. Do you know who the voice of Gizmo is?
Oh, Howie Mandel.
What? Like, how?
He had some interesting movie roles in his early career.
Wow. Yeah. Wowie.
Yeah.
Wowie, Howie.
Well,
Kate? Kate? If your future child ends up speaking like Bruce Willis, I will love it with all my heart, as much as James.
Oh.
It will be my best friend forever.
Oh.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Wow, that was really wholesome.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Okay, I'll give you one along the same lines.
Wow. Okay.
Bridge.
Yeah.
When you are ready to give birth to your baby on my birthday, by the way. I know you don't think that's going to happen, but we're all going to will it into existence. Anyway, if you are in the hospital and some bitch is reading a dumbass magazine and judging you for wanting drugs, I will come into the scene dressed as John Travolta, who is dressed as James wearing scrubs, and I will find a doctor, even if he's not your doctor, and we'll get you some drugs. Because that baby should come into the world with a smile and a party, party time excellent. So,
wow, that's a full circle ending right there, folks. Yeah, Katie and I were Wayne and Garth for Halloween, so
we were,
and it was epic.
Oh my god, yes!
Wow, party on, Garth.
Excellent. Yep.
Or Wayne, whoever you were. Oh, you were Wayne.
I was Wayne. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, and listeners, if you also love drugs for women who need it, and if you don't want to be like Kirstie Alley looking for a man when you don't need a man because you're like a successful woman, and when your baby sounds like Bruce Willis, I don't know how I got here. We're here. Here we are. You should write us a review.
Hey, we
love reviews. Wow. We love written reviews. So you can write a review on Apple Podcasts along with some other podcasting apps. We also have a website, sisterswhoseenit.com. And if you scroll down on the main page, there's a form you can fill out to request a movie. So it is the holiday season. We've still got a couple weeks left in here. So if you have a burning desire to request some special special holiday or winter-related film, get on in there and, I don't know, maybe we'll pick, maybe not. Who knows? We're kind of like the nurse reading the magazine. You don't know how we're going to go.
You never know. You don't know what's going to happen.
But who knows? So, and Bridge, what else can they do on our website?
They can buy us coffee.
Woo!
And honestly, if you can give us some coffee, maybe we can figure out how to make this plot simpler because it's very confusing to describe.
We gotta fit Grandpa in there a little more seamlessly. Maybe he could be like Kirstie Alley's grandpa. I don't know. It's gotta be something.
I don't know, but Candy Grandpa? I don't know. No one knows. But yes, if you like what we're doing and you want to throw us some buckaroos, you can go on our site and do that. And the very smart listeners also request a movie at the same time, and somehow the nurse pays attention. We put that magazine down and we're ready to go.
Weird. Yes.
Oh man. But I'm ready for Gremlins. I'm ready for holidays. I'm ready for okay.
I'm like thinking of like the transition. I'm like, okay, we just went from like cute little thing to like demonic little thing, and
it's the reality of life.
I didn't mean it like that, honestly, Bridge. I kind of wanted to just do Gremlins, I swear.
No.
Okay.
I'm thrilled, and I'm thrilled not to be watching Look Who's Talking again, so...
Okay.
Hey!
Well, one day we'll watch the third one, listeners. Don't worry.
I can't
wait.
wait.
Everyone but me is worried, I know. All right, well, and yes, check all that out, and we hope to hear from you. All right, listeners, well, we'll see y'all next week for Gremlins.
I wish you could do that like audio, the real audio.
That's good Gremlins voice.
Oh my god. All right, well, love you. Bye-bye.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bebe. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, bebe. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Sisters Who've Seen It. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out our website at sisterswho'veseenit.com, where you can email us, request movies to be reviewed, and keep up to date with all things sisters. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. See you next week.